During the Joseon dynasty, there was a notorious tyrant King Yeonsangun, who was unparalleled in his cruelty and debauchery. One day, when he went to a banquet, a servant captivated him. She was Jang Nok-su. According to the annals of the Joseon dynasty, Jang Nok-su manipulated the king like a child and humiliated him as if he were a slave. Although the king was filled with anger, in the presence of Jang Nok-su, he would always smile with delight, rewarding and punishing at her command. Jang Nok-su's father belonged to the middle class and held the position of a county magistrate. While not extremely wealthy or influential, he was considered as a local administrative official. However, Jang Nok-su's mother came from a lower-class background. During that time, Korea implemented a social hierarchy system that if either parent belonged to the low-born class, their children would also inherit the same low-born status. According to this system, Jang Nok-su inherited her mother's social status. That meant that she belonged to the lowest class called Jeongmin, which was associated with various disadvantages and discrimination in society. Being from the lowest class, she did not have a registered household and was regarded as the most disadvantaged class, facing discrimination from a young age. Although Jang Nok-su was intelligent, as a member of the lowest social class in Joseon dynasty, she was initially sold to Prince Hee-Bin, the uncle of King Yeonsangun. She was married to a man, but later remarried to the servant in Prince Hee-Bin's household, becoming a servant herself. She even bore a son from this marriage. Jang Nok-su did not receive respect within this family. Prince Hee-Bin often flaunted her in front of the guests and allowed others to violate her. Later, Jang Nok-su learned singing and became a courtesan in Prince Hee-Bin's household, providing song and dance performance for the literati and military officials. Her melodious voice and talent gradually gained her fame. Despite being in her 30s, she appeared youthful and resembled a 16-year-old girl. One day, during a banquet, she caught the attention of King Yeonsangun, who was in attendance. She made every effort to seduce him, showcasing her exceptional beauty. Finally, she successfully captured the king's attention. The king directly asked for her hand in marriage. Due to the king's domineering nature, Prince Hee-Bin did not want to offend him and agreed to the proposal. Unexpectedly, Yeonsangun and Jang Nok-su turned out to be a perfect match. Despite being married and over 30 years old, Jang Nok-su had a youthful appearance, looking like a 16 years old. It is worth noting that, contrary to popular belief, Jang Nok-su's appearance was said to be ordinary and not that of a beauty. Nevertheless, her extraordinary charm compensated for her lack of physical attractiveness. She was intelligent, alluring, and had a great understanding of people. It is said that she could manipulate the king like a child and mock him like a slave. Even when the king was angry, his expression would soften upon seeing her, and he would obediently follow her words. Jang Nok-su entered the palace and gained favor in around 1502. She was later granted the title Sukwan, a fourth-rank court lady, and the next year she was promoted to Cheoljong, a third-rank court lady. She became a cherished concubine of the royal court, and during this time, she gave birth to a daughter named Lee Yong-su, whom the king greatly adored. This solidified her positions as his favorite. Apart from her passionate relationship with King Yeonsangun, Jang Nok-su also assisted him in pursuing other women, knowing his fondness for female companionship. For example, when noble women entered the palace, if there were particularly attractive ones, King Yeonsangun would command Jang Nok-su to use the excuse of disheveled hair or untidy makeup to lure these noble women into his chambers. Due to Jang Nok-su's cunning and charm, became infatuated with her and bestowed immense wealth upon her. He emptied the treasury, lavishing her with gold, silver, pearls, and precious jewels. Her servants and properties were countless, and she manipulated the king like a puppet. Whenever the king saw her, he would be delighted, and all the rewards and punishment were at her command. Relying on the king's favor, Jang Nok-su accepted bribes and allowed her relative to exploit the common people. Her brother-in-law also benefited from her power and held important military positions. Conversely, those who offended Jang Nok-su did not meet a good end. For example, King Yeonsangun wanted to expand Jang Nok-su's residence outside the palace, so he forced her neighbor to move away. When some officials advised against it, the king imprisoned and punished them. Jang Nok-su's servant, relying on their influence, would rob and injure people without consequences. While Jang Nok-su's allies enjoyed promotion, those she despised naturally met an unfortunate fate. There were 2 palace maids who came from a slave background. They received the king's favor and became part of his harem. However, perhaps due to their beauty, they aroused Jang Nok-su's jealousy and proved to be no match for her in the palace intrigues. Less than a month after becoming part of the harem, both of them were suddenly accused of the crime of adultery, wickedness, arrogance, and envy. They were punished in flogging and then exiled. But the tragedy did not end there. In less than 2 months, they were accused of anonymously posting insulting letters targeting the king and Jang Nok-su. Based on this anonymous letter, the king arrested both of them, as well as their family, and subjected them to branding and torture. Despite their denials, they were ultimately executed by slow strangulations, and the families were punished with flogging and exile. King Yeonsangun even ordered their severed head to be displayed to the palace residence as a sign of exemplary punishment. Afterwards, their heads were buried in a remote location with plaque detailing their crimes as a testament to their wrongdoings. Jang Nok-su fulfilled almost every aspect of King Yeonsangun and accompanied him during a period of extreme debauchery. They engaged in various immoral activities, such as converting temples into brothels, coercing female doctors to become court prostitutes. There were even several instances of public debauchery during feasts. Their lifestyle was incredibly indulgent. On the 15th of October, which was Jang Nok-su's birthday in the year of 1505, King Yeonsangun accompanied her to her birth mother's home and paid respect to her. The king even referred her birth mother as mother. In 1506, King Yeonsangun first granted special trading privileges to Jang Nok-su's family and relieved them of various taxes and duties. In the same year, a group of officials could no longer tolerate the king's tyrannical rule and staged a coup. King Yeonsangun was then dethroned and sent to exile. During this rebellion, Jang Nok-su, who was pregnant at that time, was executed by beheading on the charges of being a treacherous woman who harmed the country. Her properties were also confiscated. It is said that during the execution, the people of the capital eagerly threw debris at Jang Nok-su, exclaiming, "The nation's resources are exhausted for these." Servants who had supported Jang Nok-su in her wrongdoing were also punished. However, after Jang Nok-su's death, her daughter was treated well. In 1517, her daughter Lee-Young-su was granted a house by King Jeongjo of Joseon. Her name was recorded in the royal family registry.